Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Funhouse. Today's episode is actually going to have a little bit of a life lesson in it. We're going to discuss the proverbial can of worms, if you will. Something I like to refer to as the cascading effect. I'm trying to work on a project. I need heat for that project. My heat sources are gassing me out. I think I may have made a mistake. I got the cheaper kerosene. Well, cheaper. It was over $8 a gallon. And my heaters are smoking. This one has always been a little bit of an issue. That one was never an issue, but now it is. I was using propane, but it sucked that tank dry pretty quick. So I'm getting smoke. I want to build a new heat source, which will be another video. But in the meantime, I just want to get this project done so that I can get this stuff out of my shop. So what do? Well, I put an attic in my fan. Yeah, okay. I put a fan in my attic a long time ago that exhausts out. Mostly it was to get rid of fumes from painting and whatnot. But it's not quite cutting it. So I decided that I want to up the ante. And, well, hold on. Let me show you something. So I have that fan blowing out that gable vent in the back. And I worked pretty well because the front gable vent some time ago had been chewed through by squirrels, and I had capped it off. So that was the only vent. But then I redid my roof. I put roof vent in. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm sucking air in through there. That fan isn't cutting it. So I've decided to reopen that vent and put fans over there as well. And everything's on one switch with the light. I'm going to change that. So there's a switch for this fan, a switch for that fan, a switch for this light. I'll separate it. Went to Depot where we bought these vents originally 30 years ago or what have you. They don't have that size anymore. So now I got to shrink the hole down to that size. Plus squeeze two fans in. I hate the box stores. Let me tell you, I hate the box stores. All I ever do is go there to substitute something for what I went there for. You feel the same way? Let me know in the comments. So, I'm going to board that up with two fans. Put that vent over the two fans. I got to retrim it outside with some pressure treated wood preferably. I think I have a piece of 5/4 decking in here somewhere that's pressure treated. Yeah, I'm seeing something. So I'm going to trim that down and make trim for the vent. And yeah, well, you can talk about it or I can do it, right? So I'm going to get to it. I cut this plywood to size, and then I transferred the measurement of the vent onto it. That's what this box is here. And then I measured where the stud is that's in the middle of it, marked off where that goes. And then I gave myself a little space off the stud, a little space off the top. Don't care if it sticks out past the side. That part of the fan will be technically overlapping this edge just a whisker, but that's okay. The majority of the fan will be unblocked, blowing its way out there. Plus the fan will be behind the plywood. That vent will be in front of the plywood. So there's going to be a gap between it where air can flow to the next louver. It's going to work. So I'm going to cut these out. I took my compass and I put a square along. There's a raised ring around here. I put my square along the edge. I went from the middle of the fan to the square, and then I went out a whisker to make it bigger. And as you can see, we've got plastic around here. So I'm going to take the line when I cut it with the jigsaw. I'll make the holes a little bit bigger. If worse comes to worse, I can even come back later with some weather stripping or caulk to fill in the hole. I don't think that's going to be necessary, though. Alright, I'm going to drill some pilot holes and cut this out with the jigsaw. Okay, I got my holes cut. And my fans fit halfway decent. I put the fans towards the top. I'm going to put the wiring and the cord towards the top. One cord will power both of these. And I'm going to drill some holes through the plastic where I can screw it to the plywood. But I think I'm going to wait to mount it until the plywood is in place. Because A, I think I'm going to have to do it from outside because there's that stud in the middle. B, it's raining. C, it'll make things lighter. So, also, and D, it'll give me some wiggle room to adjust it in case it's brushing against the stud or anything weird. So, that's the game plan. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, also, I think I'm going to have the wiring running behind the stud and spliced together, as opposed to having it pinched between the plywood and the stud. So, if I wired this, if I mounted it, it'd probably be okay, but if I wire it, I'm going to have problems. So, that's why I'm doing it. What am I telling you for? I don't have to explain myself to you. That's how I'm doing it, alright? Nah. Deal with it. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. The plywood is installed and the vent is installed. Don't worry, it'll look better when I trim it out. But that may or may not be today. That's good enough for me to proceed. For now. Oh, this is fun. Can you see up my nose? Laying on a block of foam on the wood pile. So that I can wire this up. Here's the view from the inside. Kind of reminds me of an owl or something. Boy, let me tell you, even with that fan running behind me, between that light bulb, that halogen, and the two heaters downstairs, it is toasty warm up here. Woof, sweating. Alright, let me get my fans installed. The fan was rubbing on the grate, the vent outside, so I pushed it further back on the shaft, but the shaft is rubbing. So rather than let it melt through in self-clearance, I'm going to trim it off with the cutoff wheel. There was a flat spot ground on there, and this is like an E-clip or a Jesus clip, but it fits on there so snug, and we're not talking like major torque here. I think it'll be okay if I trim that shaft down. And, yeah, just leave it. Should be fine. I have my fans installed. They spin freely. Well, I keep hitting my own finger, but they do spin freely. Ran my cord nice and neat with slack so I can unplug it. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. When the wind blows, I can see them spin freely, so I know they're not rubbing. So yeah, I think let me finish wiring everything up. Should be okay. This is acting as a guard, so these are my antenna wires for the radio downstairs. I am not worried about them blocking the fan blade, otherwise I'd put a few clips on them. But I think they're going to be just fine. They can't get in there and stop the fan. I have my wood up here, and I did we talked about the fans, got those done, put the light up finally. It is like daylight up here. What a difference. It's a little dark in the back. I have it screwed to the roof, so it's tilted towards us right now. I may have to put some chains on it or longer screws so it can point straight down and shine back there a little bit better. But I can still see better than I could before with that one bulb. Guess I don't have to buy any cedar shakes for shims anytime soon. Jeez. That's what happens when you have a little bit spread out all over the place, and then you combine them all into one spot. So I gotta sweep the floor, but really, I'm very happy with how things are working up here. I'm doing my best to keep it neat. I come up for a piece of wood, I grab it, I run back down. It's so much neater and easier than it was before. So, I'm really happy about that. Let me show you downstairs. And here's downstairs. Got my charging station all cleaned up. Normally this would be outside where it's cold, sitting outside my door. Nature's refrigerator. Got my gluing and clamping table cleaned off with all my clamps in there. In my freshly repaired drawers. The table saw and the radial arm saw are ready to rock and roll. I got my healing bench reduced down to a healing milk crate. This stuff is materials I'm going to use to build a speaker that you'll see in a different project. 2 speakers, actually. Same over there. Oh, I guess technically this and this are healing bench items. Maybe I'll make a video about them. There's a little pile of something I'm planning on building. That's going to be a surprise. But let's just say I got my fans in. They do a pretty good job of getting rid of the fumes from my smoky kerosene heater and the lousy kerosene that I bought. This one burns good, doesn't have a smell, but I have the fans off to make it quiet. I gotta turn them back on pretty quick, otherwise my throat starts to burn. So I think gonna be making something that doesn't use electricity, because I don't have a whole lot of electricity out here, and makes a ton of heat for free. Something with a chimney, so I have no fumes. You'll see. Yeah, even the little nooks and crannies are clean. So, just got to use up these materials. Fix stuff in the healing crate, and shop will be completely clean. I got to sweep up, too. And I've determined that healing things on the healing bench has helped me clean this place up. Because you start running out of places to stick broken crap that's waiting for your attention. So I'm just fixing it as fast as I can and getting it out of here. And it's working out good for me. So here you go, guys. Using my overhead space. These clamps wouldn't fit in that drawer, so I put them up on the ceiling. These guys I like to have handy where I can just grab it and put it on real quick. And, you know, I'm going to be fine-tuning the shelves back here a little bit, but really, I'm kind of in good shape. Ready to rock and roll. Check it out. My fiance gave me her old iPod. I got it hooked up to my stereo, and I sealed it to the wall in a Ziploc bag. I can still work it, but it's clean. It can't get dust and debris on it, and I can see it and use it through the bag. So it's stupid enough to be brilliant, in my opinion. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.